you're sending me emails with
Yeah.
5,000 people on it.
Yeah.
I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled to get down so you could hide
I
those.
should blind copy it.
Yeah.
And that could have their own,
They want to,
each one have its own programs, each library.
No, that's fine.
So it's not just gonna be,
But Dale did
two
how
guys
important he is.
did their own program.
So, here's the
Should work pretty
thing. So
good.
Dale, my partner, is the one that buys the table, not me. So I said, did you get this? No.
I don't know, Dale from Logan, hey, and I don't have his email address.
Okay, I sent it to him, so he'll be ordering
See, I
it.
could have designed
So,
kind of silver poles, I'd have had a little notes, and flip light on, flip light on.
Oh, I remember you, because you're one of the last one. I go, hey.
Look here, check here, city hall.
I bet I got like 3 million emails.
I don't wanna go to the deal, but I wanna win the package to Jamaica.
Wait, what?
It's not another question. You can do that.
I don't wanna go, I just wanna win.
It's the.
What? You don't want to. Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead. I stopped her from starting. You weren't ready to go.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Meeting order. Start with roll call.
Okay, Mayor Manning.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Monahan.
Here.
Nelson.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Brenneman is absent with notice, and I haven't heard anything from Johnson.
I'm not. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have a motion for minutes from 1/2/19.
Second. There she is.
I was gonna switch chairs on you because I have the sinking chair.
I was gonna, well, I thought you didn't get it done.
I didn't quite get there, she walked in.
All right, discussion on the minutes. Here none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next up, we got bills. Pay this month. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Oh, yeah. Did I read that right? We bought $2,500 worth of stamps because the price is going up? Is that right? Okay.
What that save us? Never mind, I'll do the math on that. 5 cents.
5 cents a stamp.
That's wait, is that much of an increase?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like getting interest on, yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
Yes. Do you know how much total we paid RBS for waste dumpsters?
I just.
You
did
knew
that
somebody was
today.
gonna ask that question, didn't you?
I just updated it, hang on a second. I just did it today, I was thinking, I was
Good
wondering
question.
that myself,
Good
how
question.
we're standing with that.
I seen it in there and I thought,
Happy New Year.
I almost want a drum roll on this one.
It was about around $5,000, so let me look here.
No way.
that is making
So-
Hartford great right there. I'm just telling you.
Wow.
So, I did a comparison from 2016 and 18, because 17 we had it closed for a while when
Yep.
we were, so
Yep.
2016, the total we paid was about $16,500.
Okay,
This last year, 2018, even with the added cost of monitoring, it was $11,385.
so we saved
It was
$5,000
$5,000.
Paid something.
And put some.
and put
And
somebody
paid
there.
somebody, yeah, that's
And all the
figuring that
stuff we
extra.
did.
Mhm.
And
Huh.
in the process, I did not receive one phone call, I don't know about you guys.
I did not either.
But, I mean, there was no real discrepancy.
No, we had a couple of people that got, well, we had a few people that got turned away and a couple of people that called me about it. But, you know, I just
But I
explained
mean,
it.
as far as the residents of Hartford,
Oh, the
they
residents
were
are-
not, there was no one that said, hey, you should have it open 24/7, blah, blah, blah.
I never got any calls like that.
I got
so.
verbally attacked on the street because a city employee told her where I lived.
Oh, that's right.
Verbally?
Why did never mind. We're gonna stick to this. Bills approved. Anything to do with the bills that were
No.
approved for payment?
No, he just got, he was just sharing.
Okay.
I have one other question.
Yep.
So the South Dakota Municipal League, how do they determine our dues? Is by the size of city or, okay? I was just more curious. And CCOG the same?
Yep.
Or is that a set number? By the, how many?
Yep. It's,
Okay. Tell you what, I
Any other discussion?
actually read-
All right. We're gonna vote. Nelson,
Yes.
Johnson, Keel,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Monahan.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, public comments. Any public input on any non-agenda items tonight? Y'all look like you're on the agenda tonight, so. Very. Good. Okay. Visitors, we've got Brad Barron's down, he couldn't be here tonight, so he's gonna reschedule for another council meeting. So next up, we have Leah Johnson, Jamboree Committee report.
Hey guys, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I'm really just here as an FYI to kind of tell you what we've been doing. We kicked off in October, so the planning for 2019 has begun. We did gain 5 new members this year, so we have 5 new people helping us. We'll take anybody else we can get, we always say that. So updates so far that we've done so far since October. The car show worked out really well last year at the park. So we're aiming or forecasting again this year something very similar to that. Over Friday night, we're looking at having a little bit bigger band. We have some additional sponsors that are stepping up to help with the expense of that. We're looking at the Mud Dogs. I don't know if anybody's heard of them, they're in Minneapolis. Pretty decent band that play a little bit of everything. So what we're looking for is we're trying to lock down some hours with them. We wanted to first come to you guys. We're looking at maybe that 11:45 to 12 o'clock in the park on Friday night. So looking at if you guys have any concerns with that, because I know the park hours are 11. So if there are, let me know now so that we can lock in some hours in the contract with them.
You know, was the music done by midnight or cleaned up and gone by midnight?
Music done by midnight.
Music done by midnight. It's gonna be on what, Friday night or Saturday night?
That's Friday night.
And then we're not doing the deal downtown, or no, you will also?
I'm just a Friday night.
Oh.
Saturday yet.
It's a party.
Bigger and better.
You know that we never
Holy
stop at
smoke.
Friday night.
So the Mud Dogs on Friday night, or?
Mud Dogs is Friday.
Hmm.
Pretty good. If you guys ever want to kind of listen to their kind of music, they'll play almost anything. They take requests as well. But just go to the Mud Dogs and they have everything out there.
Fair to the
Would they be in the amphitheater?
What are you gonna say?
I would say, to be fair to the public, we make it an agenda item. You know, we can sit here and say, hey, midnight sounds great.
Well, we
don't
do
live around
typically
Mark.
go
We do
around,
Mark
I know
by
Craig,
far.
you do, a lot of times the guys, they go and talk to the surrounding neighbors, we
Okay.
have to every year.
Okay.
I know last year there wasn't a concern, I mean, we definitely can put it as an item and I can come back and maybe just do this.
We live kind of, well, Scott, you're right there.
I'm right there, and I ever told my wife, and then she had no problem with it. And if my wife has no problem with it, I think no one has a problem with it. And that's on record.
This band would be after the car show,
Thanks for asking.
Yep, the burnout show. I think they're gonna play a little bit in between the car show, the burnout and that kind of stuff, and we're doing some of the, when there's some dead air, they planned on doing maybe a little bit of music in there too, and, but yeah, the majority of it would be after the burnout.
so how many members do you have right now?
We're at just over a dozen, which is our highest number that we've been at for a long time. Yeah, I think we're at like actually 14 last time I counted the actual. I mean, there's more people on our committee list, but there's like 5 or 6 of them that don't come regularly. So they just kind of assigned their own little piece of it, and I'll just give report to you. So if you need me to come back, let me know. Saturday night street dance, I mean Saturday, the daytimes, we're still trying to work out the details. Carnival's still on with the chamber. And we're just getting, like I said, some of the other stuff's booked. But Saturday night, the street dance, we are gonna have Brandon Jones again, same guy as we did last year. We got a lot of positive feedback from him. He was very good to work with. He had very good music. It wasn't super loud and he played a variety. So he was open, we booked him. So he's on, but we did decide not to do an opener band. Last year, the opener band, the attendance was extremely low for the cost that it takes us to have an opening band for the amount of people that actually show up for that part of it. We opted not to go that route. We are looking at potential options still for the helicopter. I know Scott's been working with the West Central School District. where the gentleman would come in and just basically
I'm
just
gonna
get
expand
flights
on that just
over.
a little bit, yeah, just so you know, Ride in the Sky Helicopters is a freelancer, for lack of a better term, who did this in T. What am I doing? You're smiling. When you smile, you make me nervous.
No, forgive me, Scott, it's just when you say helicopter and freelance, it makes me chuckle.
That's why I'm expanding on this, just so you know.
I've never been in a freelance helicopter.
He does. He
Oh, I'm
goes,
sure he does.
he goes to certain events, and insurance is the key right now, as far as making sure that Brad, who hopefully will be here soon, and their insurance company will be on the same page. They're, at this point, the plan is to land on school grounds and to take off, unless anybody in this council has well, it's gonna be brought up later, has an issue, you know, we can answer them later, of course, but the bottom line is that it's something that would be kind of a neat little addition, unique, to Jamboree Days.
So the helicopter would come here and land and then leave?
Give rides.
And to pay, give rides.
Oh, give
See,
rides.
he's charging for rides, so, I can't remember the rate, but, at any rate, he, like I say, has done this, he's been flying helicopters since Nam or something like that, and he's, a good guy, Bob Creer's his name, and, yeah, there it is in a nutshell, and I just gotta nail down the insurance part of it, and we'll be in great shape. Unless you object for helicopters going in and out of Hartford during Jamboree Days.
Where would it land?
We're trying to determine
Oh.
that officially.
TBD.
So, somewhere on school grounds in that proximity, that's the best I can give you at this point in time.
You missed it earlier, though, Brad won't be here tonight.
What's that?
Brad won't be here tonight.
Yeah, he won't be here tonight.
Brad won't be here tonight.
Brad who?
Parents.
Brad, the superintendent,
Did you say that?
yeah,
I didn't have my hearing aid yet.
yeah.
Brad will be here then. Okay, then I'll be talking back to Brad later. Brad,
All right, keep on going, man.
All right.
yeah, get away from Nelson, for God's sake.
Our committee is also still gonna be working with the security company. We're trying to get ways to secure the street dance more. Obviously, we wanna make it a safe event for everybody that's in attendance, and so we are trying to work with them and what their best choice would be for fencing. So I have a couple calls out to him. I may actually see Craig, if you can call him. Obviously, he doesn't like to call me back, but we'll talk later. I know Craig and I were gonna meet with him, just like I said, to try to figure out how we actually finagle it so that, like I said, we keep everything that's supposed to be in and everything that's supposed to be out. Other than that, like I said, last couple of times I've been here, I'm here to just give you guys updates. I'd rather ask for permission versus forgiveness. I've been up here asking for forgiveness before, don't ever wanna go back down that road. So, if you see me just to give updates, that's why I'm doing it. If there's anything new, the majority of the stuff is probably gonna be somewhat similar to what we're used to. But like I said, I like to give you updates and anything new, so. Other than that, unless you guys got questions for me, we're gonna just keep running, trudging on and get things planned for this coming year. And just continue to pray for good weather.
Do we need a motion on the 12 o'clock on Friday night deal? Or do we wanna have it for,
It's not
They're gonna
agenda
have-
items, I don't know that we should have a motion
No.
on it, but,
It's a-
Yeah, and they're gonna have to apply for a special event permit, so it'll be
Special
part
permit.
of that.
then we can actually make that, okay, that's fine. Just-
I will make one comment, I know a guy that has a quote-unquote show truck, and he commented on the improvement with cars being in the park, under the trees, in the shade, because apparently guys with show cars don't like to leave them sit in the sun
Basking.
all summer and just baking. So apparently, I don't know, he goes to a show every weekend, or tries to, and apparently there's very few car shows that are in a park under trees.
It's good to hear. We will watch the weather if the wind is gonna be a certain, I mean, I'm not gonna put a nice car underneath a tree that's blowing 40 miles an hour either, so. I mean, there is that possibility when we get right up to the event that we could change it, but obviously we're gonna look out for the people's cars as well.
Just want to pass that along.
Thank you. That's always good to hear.
Or right at the trophy presentation.
Or right at the trophy presentation, we've been there before, and then hang out at the tree as the burnouts train up. Alright, guys, my number is always out there, so if you guys have any questions for me, just shoot me a text or call or whatever. And if you wanna join us, we typically meet on Monday nights, 6 o'clock. What is it? Community room at Deer Hollow, so I don't have to get there, just don't worry. Alright, guys, have a great night.
Good night.
Yeah, Matt Evans with Hartford Area Sports and Rec update.
Mr. Mayor, council members, let's see, start off just over the past month or so, we've had a couple meetings with Teresa and Mr. Nelson regarding the advertisement space that we've been talking about, and Mr. Nelson's put together a couple different drafts, I guess, of what the legal stuff should be, so he's still working on that, so that'll be probably another month out or so. We'll have another meeting coming up. It seems like every time, as Arden remembers, every time that we come in, it always seems to bring up new questions, additional questions about what if. So we keep on adding on to that. So we're still moving forward with that. Our next item, I guess, is that we'll be purchasing the scoreboard this week. So we were kind of working out some final pieces with Daktronics, working out even colors as far as tonight. When all is said and done, the project is going to be $20,000, $855, or I guess give or take. I'll get the final estimate or final invoice tomorrow. But after we have a $3,000 donation specifically for a scoreboard from Steve Sershin out of Chester. He's very into baseball, softball, and happened to be at Jamboree days when we still had our tent up, and then we also have a $3,260 grant from Legends. So that brings the total down to right around $14,600 when all is said and done. Assuming that our electrical bid is still going to be similar, I guess, or estimate. So I forgot to check on that. So
What are you proposing to install these?
well, it takes 6 weeks for delivery after they get going. So then basically, whenever after that, the opportunity arises to start with the projects and get those up and running.
That'll be a good number.
Yep. Let's see, as far as other items that we'd like to put, I guess, on the agenda for next time, something that we're looking at is that, I was talking with Karen today, and I believe, as far as what's allocated to the sports complex committee is, I think we're at $148,227.95. And I wasn't at the meeting where the Park and Rec Director position was approved. Is that coming out of the city budget, or is that coming out of, how is that?
It came out of city budget. And
Right.
I wish I had the notes. I don't remember exactly the line items we were thinking about with the $148,000 when we allocated that for sports rec.
So, like last year, if we would have got them hired, it was gonna come
Right.
out of yours,
Yeah.
but we never got them hired, so we just put it in the general fund for this year.
That's what
So,
I thought, and I just wanted to
yes.
clarify,
Yeah.
and that was the
So it
question I
won't come
forgot
out
to
of
ask
any of
earlier
that
today.
fund
Yeah.
that Karen quoted you, it's in our general fund budget.
Right.
Is what it is, yeah.
So two of the things that we'd like to propose, first would be that we use up to, I guess, 25,000, I guess that's the mark of before, having to put out things to bid, for a 10-foot by approximately 325-foot sidewalk running up the middle of the two softball fields. We think it's actually, given a couple of contractors, their estimates is anywhere as low as 14,000 to 18,000. So to release those funds for that. Then after we take out the money for the scoreboard, if we were to take out as much as $25,000 for that concrete work, and the reason for that is we're finding more and more that, when we have people that are coming to watch grandkids play sports, that type of thing, that the difficulty getting, whether it's with wheelchair, different mobility devices, having that makes it that much easier for our grandparents or people that have, some type of disability. And currently that section right in the middle is just, if it gets wet, is just a big mud pit basically. So even if it rained the day before and it's great still to play softball, that next day trying to get somebody in there, is going to be quite difficult. The other thing is, as you look around to other communities, T, Mitchell, Brandon, that are putting in new facilities, they're including that, their facilities, it's one of those pieces that just makes it look attractive to other people coming in, as we're pushing for tournaments and that type of thing. Then the other thing, approximately, then that leaves us with close to, I guess, $109,000 left that's allocated to us right now. So our proposal would be to, and we can bring this as an agenda item the next time, but would be to start a concession restroom storage building project. As far as the estimates that Mitch gave me a while ago, most of us think it's pretty high for a 1,600 square foot building being 329,000. So we think that it should be, most everybody we've talked to thinks it should be well under that. But if we include sewer and just the general items that he has on there for mobilization, erosion control, that type of thing, his estimate, if we were to do a building and then connect sewer to the possible, and I can't remember if it's possible or is it a done deal with the sewer, or are they just looking at that on those last meeting minutes that were on there, that they're just drawing the plans up?
Drawing plans.
Okay, so if that does happen to, push through as well, he has it upwards of $544,000, where we think it should be well below that, but we're willing to put up, that $100,000 that we have left, for that. So that would be, if it is his estimates, that would be at least a fifth of the cost of that. So to keep things moving.
I appreciate you bringing up some of these as, kind of gives us a heads up anyway. Because in order to move forward on these, it would be, I assume it would be more of an agenda item unless we were gonna actually fund it and spend it, but it's on city grounds, so I think what we'd have to do is actually approve it in a meeting, have it as an item. Do we have the notes, do you remember when we allocated 148, what specifically we were looking at? There had to have been a reason that it's at 148.
As far as my number, or?
Yeah, when we had our budget meeting from.
Well, it was total, so Karen shared with me, as far as end of year 2018, we still had 98,227 in there, and then last year there was an additional 50,000 that was allocated. So that put the total at the,
148.
at the 148.
Okay. Were you gonna say something, Karen?
No.
What was that?
I was just confirming it was 15.
Yeah, okay.
The 100, does that roll over from, since 16, maybe?
Yeah, I think at the end there.
Yeah, we gave that
Or 17?
16. That's
I
been,
don't know if it was 16, that seems a while ago.
Didn't have anything on it.
Yeah.
2017.
2017.
17 is
Yeah,
when we,
one year.
So we feel with the direction, and whether it's, you know, even if the project, if it's, the other, you know, if we're putting in a holding tank and using that rather than, we also put in an amount for that, but, so.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're headed for and wanting, you know, that's been sitting there, and with all that's been going on the past couple of years, I think now's the, you know, a good time to put it towards something and rather than continue to sit there.
I mean, this is really being driven by the fact that we're prodding these guys along. We want to get this thing going. It's got to get to a point where we're able to do tournaments and use the facility for what it was intended. To do that, they got to have some of these improvements. Part of that is going to come from our fundraising and the advertising that we've been working on, as we know, with Larry, and he's been working on those documents. We've had a couple of meetings, and Matt's right. Every time we meet, we figure out another 10 things that we need to talk about. It's crazy. And I don't know how we stop that. At some point, we're just gonna have to quit talking about crap. And, but you know, I'm not meaning that bad. You know what I mean? But
No, and the things that you're proposing, unless I'm off, and where you're looking at for that concession stand and storage area, they're within the plan. It's not
Right.
like it's not like we're saying, hey, let's go over here and let's go do
Right.
this, or let's go over here
Right.
and let's do that. We need a sidewalk between those fields eventually at some point anyway.
and
And
really,
that is the
right.
traveled area.
Right. Yeah, it's not like they're asking for stuff that's not a necessity, really a necessity. We need a concession, storage, restroom building. At some point, we gotta have that to make this thing, you know, really perpetually usable.
So let me ask you a question, Matt. Do you guys know where you're proposing to put the concessions/restrooms?
Yeah, it'd be right at the center, kind of currently where we have that shed out there that would be in the middle of when everything's finished with the four diamonds there, right in the center of those.
Which ones are in right now? The two on the south?
No, on the west.
There's two on the west.
Yeah, the two west.
So the
So
west
there's, so there's a north and a south.
Yeah.
On the west side.
Right,
Yeah.
these, if I'm
And it's
looking
the
at
east
this
side
in the
that
right
is just
direction.
graded.
So I'm curious, when you talk about the concrete, are you intending to pour for where that structure would sit?
Up until that. So we would work out to basically what we would, because if this happens as far as two different things, you know, and we don't get approved a concession building, at least we get a concrete, you know, sidewalk up to our shed, but it wouldn't be beyond what what would go in there, so we had to, you know, we would wanna dig it out and that type of thing. At the very least, it would get us close up to, that center section, and then, you know, whenever that might get approved to move on with the concession stand, then the additional concrete around that would meet up with the
But
proposed sidewalk.
here's my question, because looking at that map, you said the west fields are in.
Mhm.
So there's room for two more fields to the east,
Right.
that way.
Where we did all the grading.
So if you pour concrete between the fields to the west,
Or
in
just-
order to pour more concrete, you'd either have to drive on that or drive clear around to come in and pour more.
Or currently, we would come in the side where there's that onto the north part of the fields. Right now, there is nothing there, they just regraded that, so coming around the north side.
Yeah, but that's gonna be seeded though.
But eventually, part of it is gonna be, that's gonna be the parking lot,
he's talking coming in here.
The parking lot kind of driveway there, that area.
Down there. It might be a little,
There's quite a bit of space
So-
between those fields.
There's-
that's the other
yeah, even if you
Right
put
down
a-
the
yes,
Even
Those
if
are
you
gonna
put
be more concrete here.
I believe that's right. From the parking lot going,
Right,
to the building there, and even if you put a 10-foot sidewalk in, you'd
So
still have plenty of room
this
to
concrete
truck
is
around it.
yep.
to pour this concrete and this concrete and this concrete, you'd have to either,
Well,
you
there's,
come in,
hey Mark,
I'm
there's
just
enough
curious.
room on either side of that sidewalk though, like Craig was saying.
Yeah, there's-
If they put a 10-foot wide sidewalk in.
Yeah, you'd be able
the
to
grass
drive
go along
past
the
trucks down one side of the
just by
sidewalk.
the side.
Yeah, because that width
And no
between
matter
the
what-
two fields
Any
are,
improvements you do out there, you're gonna end up breaking
Right.
some type of sod or some type of
Yeah.
grass out there. Even when you put the building in, when you put the fences in,
yeah,
you're always gonna have some type of
Yeah, and I was just curious, because I mean, there's no
Yeah.
point pouring concrete, and then,
driving over, yeah.
you
No,
know,
there's
then
plenty
later
of
on you
room.
say, well, who's the moron that
Yeah.
blocked us out with concrete?
Yeah, there'll be room on the sides or even coming up the same alongside the sidewalk there.
and if it's one of those things too, we'd be happy to just put the $25,000 into that, to everything else, and just include it into one big project instead of separate.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
because if you could pour the center, and then a sidewalk coming off of it, and just be done with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether you put a building on it or not, at least you got the concrete guys out there, and then when you're gonna get a better price per volume, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest question that's gonna come up is, when this comes up as an agenda item, is can we do that building in the center as a concession slash storage for the amount that's remaining? And I know it's maybe not what's put in the design out there, so what's different, what would this building look like, what would it be, and can we afford to do that? Because I think that if I were to suggest it, I'd say, hey, list them as 3 separate action items. One of them was a portion for the scoreboard, the other was a portion for the sidewalk, and another portion for the building. But when you get, 2 of those knocked out at one, it probably would.
Well, the scoreboard's already been approved.
Okay.
Yeah, that was approved,
October
Okay.
16th,
Yeah,
I looked it up
October.
today.
Okay.
so we've already,
So
yeah,
that's done.
so that one's approved,
Okay.
we're good as far as that. So it's just a matter of, we were working out some final details with, yeah.
All I'm saying is the building's obviously gonna be slab on grade,
Yeah, you'd
so
wanna
I
get,
don't know why you wouldn't just pour.
you're gonna need to
concrete
get your, service line for your sewer, and then we've got the water up to that center point already, but you're gonna wanna get that sewer
down.
in.
You could stub out a sewer line.
Yeah, you need some elevations, I mean, if it's slab on, you'll be able to keep it shallow enough and run as, you know, so you
That's
don't
all I'm
drop.
saying.
Yeah. And your
So,
building will probably,
you're saying be
will
real,
have footings with it,
pour it, so.
frost footings and everything else, keep everything moving, so
yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be more than just pouring a slab out there and putting a building on it, because you'll have to have frost footings.
yeah, I get that, but all I'm saying is you're talking about putting in 400 foot or 10-foot wide sidewalk, why not pour the pad in the center?
Ultimate trucks there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean, you're just one more step closer,
that probably does make sense.
so that's all I'm saying.
But I
No.
would say to answer your question, Jeremy, I don't know that the 100's not gonna cut it. I mean, we're gonna need
Yep.
double, if not triple of that, double and a half maybe of that, who knows? I mean, we're gonna need some money. So and we keep taking this stuff out of general fund, at some point, we're gonna have to figure out a way to fund this deal. And we could just say to these guys, go fundraise it and then come and see us, but I don't wanna do that to them quite yet.
Sounds like they need 500 to 600,000, of which they have about 100. So if, as we look at 2019 and we think about Nichols, Vandemark and some other projects coming, this is just a line item that maybe we could throw in to bond some money. Is that reasonable? I think we'd be better off than just going, taking a note for just specifically the sports complex. And it's not the $4 million proposed
Yeah.
for a bunch of other stuff, but maybe we could look at that
Got a bigger
and
project.
pull some pieces out of it. Yeah, just a thought.
Okay.
So your goal, Matt, I guess I would ask you guys, your goal would be to get the sidewalk for sure this year, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, if we were trying to make you happy for at least 2019, you want to get sidewalk for it.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
also, if we don't, we can't push the money toward the concession, we're gonna come up with something else, we got fencing we gotta do, we got other things we gotta do, so,
right.
you know, we just wanna keep moving forward,
Yep.
we got money in there, we
Yep.
wanna spend it, we wanna get, you know, things need to be, so.
That's what
Hoping
everybody
we can
wants
do
to
the
do.
concession, but we gotta,
Have you established a 1, 2, 3, 5-year plan? Probably
We
not.
have as far as a, you know, a priority list, you know, the first priority would be the concession stand after that, and then the second would be the finishing off the other 2 ball fields. So, and given that they're both, you know.
Graded.
Yeah, because
Right, but as far as the amount, that type of
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
so
that's
those
big
are our,
dollars.
you know,
big dollars, and come January, budgets are set, now we're appropriating funds or reappropriating
Correct.
funds.
Right.
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
a list of about 44 items that we have categorized as of importance, and we are working on trying to just work through those.
Yep.
Right now, we're kind of working from west to east,
Yep.
trying to get let's get the concrete poured. Really, the main reason for the concrete is if we want a tournament out there, it was hard for elderly people to walk up and down. With the sidewalk, that would make it easier for them to get to the fields.
Yep.
That's why it's kind of number one on our list.
So what do we typically have these guys come the second meeting of the month? Is that typically when you?
right. But if
So-
it's something, you know, I'm all right coming to another one, you know.
I wonder if,
But-
for the second meeting in February, a couple things. If you guys could kind of nail your list of what's your 44 things and kind of give us a little bit of a target there, but I think we should agenda item the sidewalk and the building for maybe the second meeting in February. So we can get that nailed and give these guys if we're gonna do it, let's get the funds.
I'm not opposed to the first meeting in February either.
Either
You
one.
know, if it works for everybody else, it may not hurt to just touch it along.
Yeah, we can do it in the first meeting too. I don't care. I was just
Up to you
saying.
guys, I can put it on either agenda.
Yeah, we're fine with the first, I'm
Yeah.
fine with the first, I mean,
Give you something to talk about at your meeting.
yeah.
Yep. Let's do that.
Yeah,
go
let's do
February
that.
5th meeting.
That's fine. I was just trying to,
Yep.
but if you guys could get us that info, I know we've probably seen it at some point. But.
So are we gonna do it the first, or are we gonna do the
First,
second meeting
first,
after they?
first.
Wanna do the
Yeah,
first?
let's
Okay.
do it
first.
first, the first.
All right?
Okay.
Great.
Is that all right, you guys?
Thank you, Matt.
All right. Play ball.
All right, that looks good.
Batter up.
Okay, we got ordinances, resolutions, we have a second reading of ordinance 664, trespassing on city property.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
A motion approved,
Second.
second, discussion. No changes. I hear nothing, we'll vote. Monahan?
Yeah.
Jones?
Yep.
Keel?
Yes.
Johnson? And Nelson.
Yes.
We got fire department report.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors. Kind of recap of December. We had 23 calls in December total, 12 of those in Hartford. For the 2018 year, we ran a total of 280 calls, about flat from last year. I think the excessive rainfall later on in the year kind of eliminated some of the smaller fires, incidents like that we normally see. December training, on the EMS side, we had CPR recertification. On the fire side, we had ice rescue training. January coming up, we have CPR recertification for all our firefighters. And EMS side, we'll be training on medical emergencies. 2019, officers are now in place for this year. I will be continuing as your chief, so you're gonna have to put up with me for another year here, so sorry about that. First Assistant Fire is Adam Erickson. First Assistant Rescue, Connor Bortherms. Second Assistant Fire, Matt Horn. Second Assistant Rescue, Michelle Shoemaker. Secretary, Donnie Rolfson, and Treasurer, James Buss. So that is our leadership team for 2019. So with that, any questions at all?
Still around lower 30s, up to 40 yet, as far as volunteers?
We're mid-30s right now, still looking for people who might want to join the ranks.
Any other questions? Go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations for being chief.
All right, on reports, we've been moving through reports pretty quick. Jesse, I didn't check with you ahead of time. Do you have some high points you want to cover? in
Just
your
about
report?
three to touch on really quick here. One, please join us at our annual meeting for the Chamber of Commerce. Our annual banquet will be held on Monday, February 4th. Williams and Rio will be performing at the banquet there. So tables are on sale for $200 a piece and individual tickets for $30 a piece. We'd be honored to have your presence there, so please be sure to join us. It's gonna be a great event. We'll also have some awards we'll be handing out that night. Volunteer of the Year, Business of the Year, and Community Organization of the Year. So make sure you're there. It's gonna be a great time. Second, there's a new Optimist Club forming in Hartford. Their charter meeting is gonna be held on the 21st at 6:30 p.m. at Pizza Ranch. They have about 20 to 25 members join. Starting off, the Sioux Valley Optimists and the Brandon Valley Optimists have been very involved in getting this Optimist Club kicked off. They want to be involved in the community and they want to be fundraising for projects that benefit the kids. That's kind of their primary target. So they want a mixture of young families and then older families and older folks as well. So if anybody wants to be part of a service club, Monday, 6:30 p.m., Pizza Ranch upstairs. Last on my report here, for me to discuss anyways, is the Hartford Area Development Foundation. We are restructuring for 2019. We are having 3 primary task forces. I use the word committee in here, but the word task force we're going to use. Focusing on industrial development, residential development, and infrastructure. These are the 3 categories that we feel are the most important that need greater attention to ensure that we're remaining competitive in the Sioux Falls market. And so we're asking for you to consider either joining or appointing some council members to join these committees. Task forces. So we know we need more industrial space, we know we need more residential space, and we know we need a proper infrastructure to accommodate the growth. And infrastructure is a very broad term here.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit offline.
Great.
And then also, council members, if anybody's interested in one of those 3 task forces, let me know. And, we can talk about that as far as coming up to a future meeting here, so.
Sounds good.
Jesse, what were those 3 task forces again?
Industrial development, residential development, and infrastructure.
Thank you.
And the report is some Facebook data as requested, as long as a kind of a goal list for 2019. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Alright. And your report, anything different? Yeah.
Pretty much what you see in the report is what I have, I'm going on, so just updates.
Like everything's going pretty smooth?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Do we think we'll see construction documents for Vandemark?
I think we're almost done with them right now in the office. I'd say next week sometime. And I think we're planning on bringing them into the office and going over them with Teresa and Craig again, as soon as we have those wrapped up.
Quintina ahead again, and if we bond some money. I know initially our feeling was to not finish that little stretch of ninth because, well, just because, save some money. But when you look at where we can develop property in this community, it seems short-sighted of us to leave that small stretch of road unpaved.
You're talking to the west?
Yep, from 38 to Van Wyck.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking we should maybe think about that some more and consider just biting the bullet, paving it, being done with it. Because that corner presents an opportunity for some development. And it would be silly of us to then have to, it would be almost the same situation where we put the sanitary sewer in and then have to go back and put a road in the following year. You know what I'm saying?
Bill,
Let's just do it. And I can't remember if it added 400 or 500, 600,000 to that project.
Is that being priced in, do you know?
It currently is not.
no.
It currently is not.
I'm just curious, when you say just do it, you mean force it upon the residents?
So Mr. Halgo is a big catch-22
Because-
there.
It's behind Beaverville,
Yep.
so they wouldn't have any interest, I don't assume. It's just behind the old right side road repair, and I'm not even sure whether that was sold at auction. I would guess the new owner would have no interest in paving that. The city owns some land there, right? There's an apartment there. They may or may not. The north side of the road is it all Halville?
Yeah, see, has a trailer court and
Oh,
that
Halville,
corner
yeah.
piece.
So so in my mind, well, number one, if that footage would have been on the petition, I'm not sure the petition would have passed. I think if you do a petition on 9th Street alone, I think it would fail. So your only other remedy would be to force it. And
No, I'm not saying we should force it. I'm just saying, I'm just starting out there, does this council have an appetite to even spend the money to do it? And if it does, then should we move forward with talking to those property owners?
I wouldn't mind doing it if there was an appetite for the residents to do it. But I don't know that there is, so then you're talking about forcing it done, and I don't have an appetite for that.
Do we have the liberty to have Jesse go ahead and kind of delegate that to talk to said property owners?
I've had a couple conversations actually, in fact, you mentioned that. Mr. Brake, who owns the apartment building
Right.
on that street, would like to see it paved.
Okay,
Mr. Halgo would be, I believe, amenable to the idea.
okay.
And so that right there is about 55%.
And say 55% is the Mendoza line,
Yeah.
okay?
I think let's say there isn't an appetite for it. If you get creative through some delayed assessments or some other things, I don't know what all our options are. But I don't know that it's fiscally responsible of us to come back and do it in the future. I think our expenses are gonna be,
Well, then,
a couple $100,000 more than they would be if we did it when we expanded Vandemark.
so then why don't we, I don't know what, the terminology's probably wrong. Why don't we deem it a necessity and then see if somebody circulates a petition to kick it out? And then if they kick it out, just say, well, we tried. Well, I guess at that point, you can say, well, we tried, or you can force it on them.
Yeah.
But if they have enough, if there's truly an appetite to not do it, they will gather the signatures and kick it out, then we could either just leave it lay or force it.
Makes sense.
We just gotta make sure Stockwell's can get it all put together soon enough so we get it out to a
For the
good
right
bid
bid.
date, otherwise we're gonna be getting high prices.
Well, Gary, if we're truly gonna go down that road, we need to have it on the agenda for the next meeting, because that ball needs to get rolling with Stockwell.
Yeah, no kidding.
Put it on the
Uh,
agenda for February.
And so here we go again, you just talked about Travis.
What's that called,
General
Teresa, when
fund
you,
item, right?
No.
when you just say you're gonna do the street? and wait
You,
for
you
them.
pass a resolution of necessity.
Just
Yep.
resolution of necessity and then see if they kick it out.
So, that's a general fund item out of the 2019 budget, right? Because, well, no, it's not.
We'll have to borrow money.
Either way.
We don't have anything,
Yep.
we will not have enough money in general fund.
That's why I'm bringing
We
it
will
up.
have to borrow money,
That's why I'm bringing it up, yeah.
or find some kind of revenue.
All right,
We
thank you.
have to borrow money anyways.
Yeah, I
You
know.
don't need an amendment.
There lies my point as well.
If we're gonna do
We're
it.
gonna borrow some money,
Not,
interest rates are
not to
headed
talk
It
about,
makes, it makes
Okay.
sense to
So
do it
that'll
now,
be the next
if
step
it could
after
feasibly
that
get it.
gets.
yeah.
Alright, so you got that down for
Yep.
next, yep.
Do you, I guess we can, do you want Stockwell's to put together an amendment of their contract so they can start right away if you decide you wanna move forward with this? I mean, they can present, an amendment to their contract is what I'm saying.
They could present an amendment
Yeah,
at the
'cause I
same
mean, it
meeting
doesn't-
after that agenda item. I think that'd be
Okay.
the way to
Okay,
roll.
that's
Yep.
Get that going.
Okay. Good, alright. Anything else under engineer report? Okay, if not, move on to Craig. Craig, you got your normal report, you also got the replacement.
Yeah.
Pickup replacement.
I have nothing new in my report unless somebody's got any questions or anything for me, or any comments.
You have a motion for the truck card?
Well, I wanna discuss it just a little bit, but, yeah, definitely would like to see a motion to have us be able to move forward without having to, they're few and far between. I found 2 of them in Sioux Falls, I found a couple in, I thought I found a couple in Redwood where we bought those other trucks from, they're already gone, they said they can build one for us. I found one in Dassel, Minnesota, that wasn't on there tonight, so I mean, everything's kind of moving quick, they're hard to get. Like we found out when we got Jesse's, we're looking at something with utility box on it. The 2 in Sioux Falls, we did test drive those today. One is under the budget, the other one is 2,000 over what we got budgeted for it. The one with the higher dollar amount on it is a 2015. All of them got 130 to 160,000 miles on them because they're all over the road, guys checking fuel or gas main lines and stuff like that, checking power lines, windmills, stuff like that, so they're all highway mileage, majority of them are. The cheaper, the other one, the more expensive one, it's 21.9, that's 2015, it's got 153,000 on it. Canopy wise, looks pretty good and everything like that. We had 118 on that one we bought Jesse at 06. We put about 20,000 on it since we bought that, which was 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So we'd like to get a lot of miles on them once we have them. That 2011 I'm driving, it's only got 50,000 on it right now, so there's not a lot of miles on any as far as what we put on them. So I feel pretty comfortable with something with 100 and some thousand. My truck's all got 200,000 on them.
How many miles did that Chevy that Jesse drives have on it when we bought it?
118.
That had 118 on it when we bought it?
Yep, and that was one that we just happened to stumble across, and it was just barely showed up that day, and we got it.
So are you looking for another one with a contractor's box on the back?
What's that?
Are you looking for another one with a box on the back?
Yeah, utility box, yeah. It just makes the storing stuff so much easier to edit, and it would be an extended cab where you can keep some of the stuff inside the cab and stuff like that, so that's what we're looking at.
Cause right now we got the Chevy that Neil drives, the Chevy that
Jesse drives.
Jesse drives, Super Duty you drive, and then the Dodge.
Yeah, the Dodge would be the one we'd be surplus, you know, if we go down that road, so.
How many miles are on that?
67.
So under 70 on that, and that's a 98, 99, and we bought that.
So
brand new,
what's
so-
the point in surplus in a Dodge with 70,000 miles on it, by a Chevy with 150,000 miles on it?
You'd be upgrading 18 years on it, and you'd be having decent utility boxes on it. The other thought is to keep the other truck for part-timers in the summertime or down the road if we get another personnel, so.
Do you need a little more room than the 20,000?
If if we might be able to stumble across something for under 20, I'm having a hard time finding anything under that.
If you went to 25, you could probably find something under 100,000 miles.
I could certainly, when I've been Googling right at that 20,000, so there's no sense going
Yeah.
over, but
So you budgeted 20,
Budget 20.
so if we wanna give him a little more leeway, it's just gonna come out of general.
We'll have to reappropriate it through the year.
Yeah.
Well, we've actually, in our street budget, which skid steer's already been 8,000 or something like that less,
Yeah, we saved that.
you know, so everything's so far been below budget, so.
Look at them guys being fiscally responsible.
Impressive.
We gotta be, when you like garbage bags at $500.
We saved 5 cents.
You did that.
Too.
You went there.
Okay.
You went there.
Alright,
I get it.
Shopping Costco.
I'd make a motion that we'd allow Craig, your city superintendent, to look for a vehicle up to 25,000 to purchase for the street department.
I'll second that.
Second. Discussion.
And once again, the contingency on the Dodge is somewhat open-ended yet at
We'll
this
just leave
point.
that open until we get something purchased and decide what we should do with it from there.
Okay.
Other questions or thoughts? Any guidance on your 25,000? Are you thinking 21,000, or are you thinking, hey, if it takes 25? just put it
No,
on
I'm
25?
giving him, hey,
Yeah.
Craig will watch what he's doing. He knows.
And that- I
He
guess-
knows he's gonna have to come and ask again at some point, so he's not gonna do anything too crazy.
He put that amount in the budget, and I said, you probably want to find two.
Yeah, I
Because
remember
don't
that.
know how,
They're
I don't know
tough.
how hot that market is, so.
Okay, got a motion, a second, more discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Nelson?
Yes.
Jackson? Keel?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Monahan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd also, if I could get a motion to go ahead without having to come back and bring it before you guys, to purchase something.
If you find one, you can buy it.
They just motioned to.
I think that's-
25,000.
I assumed that.
Oh,
I say you
I
said
assumed that.
purchase, yeah.
Okay.
I just, because I know once you find
Nope,
it,
that's fine.
it could be gone the next day.
Oh,
so.
don't worry, we'll stop you on the street. if you-
I had that all the time,
Okay.
allowed to purchase.
Which, just make sure it's sitting out front, next council meeting.
That's right.
All polished.
Have stickers
Polished
on.
up,
Have Hartford
Hopefully,
stickers on.
hopefully we can find one.
Hartford
Like
stickers.
old Wiley.
Racing stripes, flames.
All right, we'll keep moving.
All right, thanks.
Anything else there?
Okay,
What'd
that's
she
all I
say?
had, so.
Racing stripes.
do have a quick question
Flames.
for Craig. Are you done?
Yep, done.
Okay, here we go. Snow removal, during the New Year's Eve thing I did on the park, not a big deal, but I wanted to understand the protocol. It took us a couple days to get the sidewalk cleared, on the city park. And I just wanna know, where were we at with that as far as, I know it's all timing, so on and so forth, getting people back off of holidays, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we tried to get them within 48 hours. I'm trying to think of why I think it was because it, like I said, somebody would have been back in over the weekend or something like that, plus with the wind and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we typically, even the bike trail, we try to get done within 48 hours.
And
44 hours.
that's fine, the bike trail's not as big a deal, but someone, asks, well, why do I have to clean my sidewalk when the city did? And that's like, here we go. So, anyway, I know you got it as quick as you could, and you did the next business day, but I just wanted to know the protocol, and so, that's good enough for me. Thank you.
Hi, next we have Karen's report, Finance Office. Any things you want to touch on and any questions for Karen?
Nothing to touch on. Any questions?
What's the thoughts on our tax revenue? Seems pretty good. The 1, 2, and 3, is that?
Sales tax.
Yeah.
Well, we did gain last year, which was good, because I was worried about it for a little while, not by much.
Yeah.
We had hoped we'd gain a little bit more, so hopefully maybe this next year will be a little better.
Yeah.
So we did end up, gaining, so. It's good. Don't have really anything extra to add to my report, just, you know, this week, we're doing a lot of moving around in City Hall, getting ready for the new recreation director that's coming in, so. Guys have been helping move cabinets, cupboards, put together desks, and so we're gonna do a little painting before he comes in, so hopefully by the end of this week, we'll kind of have stuff back in order again, so it's a little messed up when you come in here this week, that's why, but we're getting there. Staff meetings, hopefully no one has an issue, we're gonna start recognizing birthdays, and hope everybody's okay with reading what we're gonna do there. And, we're also going to, talking about maybe bringing in a speaker for our next one for South Dakota retirement, and possibly maybe incorporating, like, taking advantage of some of the training that our, insurance company offers, some tapes and whatnot. Me and Craig talked about incorporating a little bit more of that this year with the staff, so we'll go down that road. Otherwise, if you have any questions? Okay.
So,
I think those are good things.
I should have probably asked to have this put on the agenda. So code enforcement, I'd seen in there that you're gonna start doing some sump pump.
Inspections, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I talked with you, Teresa, I've had a couple instances where people are asking about our code enforcer. It's kind of a fine line.
Okay.
We need to enforce the codes, but people don't like it that we enforce the codes.
Our code enforcer won't be doing these sump pump inspections.
Okay.
It says right in our ordinance.
Oh,
the
that's
public
great.
works superintendent
Oh, that's
has to
even
take
better.
them.
Yeah.
That is
Let's
connecting to our
send
sewer
Craig.
line. So,
They got
it'll
me
be
one
actually
year.
Craig and Tyrone going
Okay.
with them.
Okay.
We're doing, and we're just doing a handful of them right now. We haven't done any random ones in probably about
Okay.
3 years, and we know ones that are probably possible violators out there,
Yeah.
so, we do need to keep an eye on them. We need to get in there and check
Okay.
what they're doing,
So that does not fall, that falls
That will
under-
not be code enforced.
Okay,
It
that
says
was-
right in our ordinance that the public works
Yep,
superintendent
okay.
needs to do those inspections, so. So, yeah, Craig will be going out
All right.
this next week, probably next week, yeah. So,
I'll make
That
some
sounds
new
fun.
friends.
Yeah.
I'll make some new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember when Jesse and Neil were in my basement, what? Yeah. First time I met him, and I was in, and the previous owner was in violation, not me. But I had to pay for it.
Well, you left it like that for 10 years.
I did not, I fixed it immediately.
and just to let you know, if we do find a violation there, we will give them, according to our ordinance, a time to correct it. So, I mean, they won't get slapped with a fine right away, but if they do not correct it in that time frame, then they'll be fined, so. So, I mean, it's not like they won't get a chance, or,
Right.
The staff recognition, I mean, seems to me to be a valid way to recognize those folks. We don't need to give you a motion to do that.
No, because I mean, you've allowed me to spend up to $5,000, and we have money in budget for
Right.
that, so I just want to make sure nobody has a problem with that. It's not much, but it's a simple way to
Yeah.
recognize them and just,
Never forgot.
No, I think it's a good way to come together, like you're doing those staff meetings, you got,
Yeah, there are 20 on my work,
Is over
so.
there, so.
28 seriously?
Come work for Trev, yeah, come work for me.
Yeah, don't steal my employees, no.
Just over your birthday,
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
just for your birthday, $20, wow.
yeah, like I said, that's.
All right, that looks good. Thanks for doing all that, Teresa. All right, move on to new business, allocation of chamber 2019 appropriation. Most of this is in here. Do we have any questions for Lisa? She's here, the chamber president.
Are you the,
Am I supposed to come up and do this?
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Janelle Williams and Marie, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, that's all Jesse.
Okay.
I don't know if he really knew who Williams and Reed were.
Hey, no, he's too young for that.
Yeah.
He's too young for that, but you nailed
So it
it.
started out as a joke, but ended well. It ended well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're excited that
We're all
how that came together. So please make arrangements so you can all attend this year.
Yeah.
So, is there any,
Any questions on the proposed appropriation, or any questions from us at all? Any new officers, all of that?
I'll make a motion to release the 2019 application to the chamber.
Second.
Discussion.
Clarification, are you also releasing the hometown Christmas pass through with that too?
When we get to it.
The 26.9 includes the hometown Christmas.
It does? Good, okay. So make sure.
That's the full amount, so that includes
that's
Christmas
in the same
event,
umbrella.
operating, carnival.
So yes, I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
And I will still second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa, keep up the good work and
We'll see you at the
congratulations.
banquet.
Happy belated birthday.
It's not me.
Oh, that hurt.
It's not with you.
All right, next item up is the allocation of Hartford Area Development Foundation, their 2019 appropriation.
Make a motion to approve HADF 2019 appropriation.
Second.
Discussion.
As soon as I figured out HADF, which is HADC, I mean, now you just, branding, man, branding.
Branding, it's all the branding, right, Scott?
You know, I mean, I know it's one of the same, but I still looking for some documentation that just rolls it over to make it one. I mean,
It
it's
is.
not gonna happen.
It is one.
It is one. Okay, but,
Doing business as, so for
Okay.
example.
well, I know what the
yeah.
DBA means, I
Yeah.
mean, certainly, I'm all about that. So right now, okay, because last meeting, it was HADC, but the paperwork said HADF. So henceforth, the safe to say that we're gonna have HADF, I'm being petty, I know, I can feel Mark Monahan laughing over there to my right. But, I mean, can we do that?
Well, as far as I understand the last meeting, I mean, sure, I can definitely try it. I think you're talking about the budget meeting in July.
Yeah,
We didn't rebrand until November.
that's right.
So
Okay.
that's probably why there's a discrepancy there.
Okay.
But going forward, absolutely, I'll make every utmost attempt to make sure it says
Just
Development Foundation versus Development.
because there's a Hartford area foundation already,
Community Foundation, correct?
well, that's my point.
Yeah.
And there's already a Hartford community, it can confuse people.
Mhm.
And so, thank you, I just
Yep,
really want to hammer that home.
absolutely.
All right. All right, any discussion on the appropriation? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Okay. All right, next item, surplus property. A list of those, get to the
The only one I have on the list is our, basically our big black and white copier. And as you remember, in budget, we budget to get a color copier this year, and to lease one actually. And so, I got quotes on that. A&B Business was actually the lowest quote on for the leasing, which is the number I used at budget time, but it still came in less than the other quotes I got. So we went ahead and got that in here, and we're leasing that now, so we got our new copier. So we own the current one we have, you know, and so that wasn't part of the deal, there's no trade-in or whatnot. I would like to surplus it and actually put it out to advertise for bids, because I mean, it's still a decent machine, it still runs, it still works, you know, it's just black and white. It is the model, it's getting phased out, so it's gonna get harder and harder to get parts with it, that's why we're upgrading now to it, but I would like to, I'm sure somebody, some entity, we can put it on, you know, we can advertise in the newspapers, which we have to do, but we can also put it on the municipal leagues list, and, you know, I think we can find some entity that would,
Somebody's gonna want it.
something to get from
Make
it.
a motion that we surplus the copier and authorize the city administrator to surplus it in any fashion she so chooses.
Second.
I would add that if you find an entity that needs something donated to them,
Or like another municipal
then
entity.
I would be open to that.
I'd bring that back to the council then, see if you,
My motion was for you to surplus it in
Okay.
any fashion
You don't want
you
me to.
deem necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't want.
Whatever you think a good deal is, yeah, whatever you think is out there.
So
Okay.
if you need to donate it
Places that want it.
to somebody doing the Lord's work
To make it go
for
away.
women and children, then donate it.
Okay.
We look forward to hearing where it.
Yeah.
Where it ends up.
Okay.
Is that, you typically advertise that for those kind of things, but I don't know if we have any local businesses that are looking for anything out there, whether the chamber puts something on too.
I said, we can put it in the chamber.
Yeah, send me an
newsletter.
email with the information I
Yeah,
can
with
put
the
in our newsletter.
information, and
Yeah.
we'll put it in, like I said, the local papers, and I'll send it out to the municipal leagues and there, so, yeah, we'll get the word out there and so.
Try the
Okay.
free stuff first and then you'd spend.
Trade it in on a service truck.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Alright, next item, discuss electronic city newsletter.
Okay, so this is something I just put on the agenda. I talked a little bit, well, I've been talking a little bit with Rhonda about this, but as you know, we put out a newsletter every 2 months with the water bill. 1 month is just the regular water bill, next month that's a newsletter. We try to kind of get the current information out to the residents. That's the newsletter's put on our website, so anybody can go to our website and see it. They have access that way. We'd like to maybe just do that electronically versus physically mailing it. There's of course an increased cost in it when you mail it, plus it's very time consuming, You got over 1,000 accounts that you've got to fold each piece of paper, you've got to staple the water bill to it, you've got to tape all 3 sides. It takes Rhonda literally 3 days, between her other work, to get a newsletter mailing out. So it's time consuming, it's more costly, not sure how many people just ditch it, toss it. But, if they want to receive it, like I said, they can go to our website, or we can start a group to just email it out. All they need to do is, just like the school does with their newsletter, contact us, give us your email address, put you on a group, we'll shoot it out. And, if we can even start going down that route, we can maybe doing it monthly too, because it's very easy to compile the information, so we can get maybe more timely information out, do it that way with very little time and effort, so we could get maybe more current data, up-to-date data, we can do it more often at less expense, but I want to make sure you guys are comfortable with doing that.
Are you 100% making it this way, electronic, or would there still be some for our elderly population that?
We can print out paper copies. We have a lady who comes actually over from the senior center and grabs some of them, with the newsletter month and takes them over. It's going to be hard to pick and choose who we send
Right.
out to now, because then now we're going to have to be pulling those bills and seeing what that's going to be timely too.
Yeah. Do you feel that at some point, said elderly population would suddenly realize that, okay, hey, wait a second, I haven't got this in quite some time, and then call in, and you at that point could make them aware that they can come in and pick one up at any point in
Yeah,
time?
and what I propose doing is maybe not doing this till like June or something, because that way we can put it out in our newsletter a couple times. Hey, this is changing, we're gonna start going electronically, if you wanna get on the list, call City Hall, give us your information, or your email address, and you can get on the list. So, we can put it in the newspapers, we can put it in our newsletter, and then, like I said, not do a switch over until we kind of got it out there, the notice about it. It also may be, right now, the newsletter just go with every water bill. Well, any apartment buildings, usually that's just going to a landlord, We hope he's making copies for his tenants, but probably not, who knows? So, those people aren't getting the newsletter now unless they go look on our website, but this may be a way for them to have better access to it. Say, I'll give you my email address and I'll get it right away, so. What are your thoughts?
I like the idea.
I think we have to transition it. The time that goes into it, I think, is, let alone the postage, I think it's the time that goes into it.
Yeah.
I helped her.
He helped her one month.
Yeah. It's like,
time
this is
consuming.
ridiculous.
And so how many newsletters do you have going out between now and June?
Well, each cycle we have about, 1,039 accounts, something like that.
Yeah.
So Every other month. So we'll have two.
You'll have two.
We'll have two.
So obviously that should scream headliner FYI if you're
Right,
getting
we
this,
can put
this
it in
could
bold
change.
and this will be changed,
You know,
yeah.
that would be strongly advised.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that, guys. Anything else?
Need a motion, or are you just gonna do it?
Is it the consensus to change it? Okay, and we'll change it as staff policy, so, okay. I think that'll be way more efficient in the long run.
Yeah. Nice work. Thank you.
Okay.
Great answer. What kind of scotch tape do you use?
Yeah, the Scotch tape company is not gonna like this
When I
anymore.
try and like rip it open, I rip the paper instead of the tape, like every time, like I almost get a literal rip.
So you
You know,
can
like
get the
the
actual
business
tab things that are easier to open, but those are expensive, so.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with all those stamps?
Jeez.
Now they got 3 years of
We
stamp.
didn't use them anyway, we used our bulk mailing thing.
Did you give me crap about
You
this?
can take that scotch tape home and use it at Christmas. That'll prove entertaining.
We don't got an excess of that, so.
All right, next item, set 2018 equalization meeting. I guess I didn't look to see if you had a recommendation.
Well, it has to be, it's always gotta be that third week in March, so it'd be the week of March 18th. Now, that Tuesday, we have a meeting, so that'd be that 19th, so it's either Monday the 18th or Wednesday the 20th. I hate to go any later than Wednesday, because Karen needs to have it back to, the minutes and whatnot, back to the county by that Friday, so that gives her a couple days to.
I'll make a motion to set equalization for March 20th.
28?
20th.
Okay, 2-0.
Thank you.
7 PM.
7 PM.
Second.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna make a motion to put the Economic Development Director, Jesse Funkert, on salary for $60,000 annual.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
One question for me. Are these effective dates as of today?
Can we back it up to January 1?
In your next motion,
He's already.
It's gonna be hard to back Jesse
It's
up
gonna be
to
hard to
January,
back this.
Cause it's not a like for like, you know, he's going hourly.
I would assume the motion is made at 10 o'clock tonight, so it should go into effect tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's what we can do, like I said, you make it effective
So he's been
today.
paid for half of the month? So you
So I would say probably just prorate his wages out of, well, you can prorate the 60,000 annually into whatever's remaining in the rest of the year.
can, right,
Yeah, we can.
5,000 a month, so 2,500 for half a
We
month.
started a new pay period this Sunday, so it'd be cleaner if you can make it effective, what, the
January 14th.
14th, 13th, yeah, what?
January
If
14th.
you do that, you get even closer to his ask.
January what?
14th.
No, because it's gonna be prorated, so.
Yeah, we'll take 60,000 divided by the weeks,
52,
but we'll
yeah.
start it, you know,
Yeah.
we're into it so many weeks.
So when do you want it to start, Teresa?
Actually, Sunday, I'd like to.
Sunday the.
13th.
Because then we can disregard these
The 13th,
3 days,
today's the
these
15th.
2
Yeah,
days
but
he's put
it'd be
in.
easy, it's easy to go back to the 13th for payroll.
Yeah, it's easy to go back to
Oh,
13th for
okay. So
payroll,
we're back
because we
in
can
the
disregard his time card.
Okay.
I will amend my motion to back pay Jesse to the 13th of January.
And a second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed?
You want me to do that?
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to give all hourly city employees, full-time and full-time, part-time,
You're wrong.
around year part-time, I forget what we call it, yeah, you know what I mean? 3% cost of living raise across the board.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I so move, I'm gonna do this all at one time, Teresa, okay?
Okay.
I so move that we give Teresa Seidel, city administrator, 4% merit raise. Karen Miller, finance officer, 4% merit raise. Rhonda Kupta, administrative assistant, 3% merit raise. Craig Wagner, public works superintendent, 3.5% merit raise. Neil Hanish, assistant public works superintendent, 3% merit raise. Jesse O'Kane, public works assistant, 5% merit raise. And building inspector Paul Clark, 2% merit raise.
Second.
Do you need any clarifications in that? Do you need, did you get a start date and an end date?
Backdated to January 1st.
Backdated to January 1st. Bill second.
Yeah, I'll still second.
Okay. Other discussion, thoughts, questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Can I clarify the COLA raise is still January first as well?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, just want to clarify that, okay. Okay, okay, got it.
Got a motion to
Anything else,
adjourn?
Teresa? You got it?
I think we got the start times and dates. I think I got it.
Jessica, you want a second?